I'm Emma, and you're watching My Birthway, and this is the 9 weeks pregnant update. I am 9 weeks pregnant, and just a little bit of a reminder about what I'm doing here with this video series is this is my first pregnancy, and Jason's my husband, are really excited about it, obviously. And I'm also a birth doula, and my business is Our Birthway Doula Services in the Triad of North Carolina. And so I wanted to document my journey for myself, so I remembered it, for other people so that they could say, oh, I experienced that too, or oh, I'm not the only one that thought maybe I would be a sucky mom at some point during my pregnancy, or that kind of stuff. And then also, probably most importantly, so that my future kids will get to see this and be like, hey, that was mom before she ever had a kid. She looks kind of different. She probably doesn't act that different, but like that's when mom was pregnant with me, or, you know. And then especially too, if I have a daughter that is a pregnant person herself one day, I think it would be a valuable resource, because I would love to have found like a journal that my mom wrote, you know, because I ask her questions and she tells me things, but of course it's hard to remember 30 years ago when you were pregnant if you didn't write it all down or videotape it. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm writing it down and I'm also videotaping it. So my update today is that I am continuing to have more energy, and the morning sickness or nausea is continuing to kind of decrease, and that's exciting. I mean, that's probably the most exciting thing. That's probably why I have more energy. Jason has remarked like, oh, you're acting more like yourself, because for like, you know, I guess from weeks 5 to 7, I was kind of just like doing nothing, you know, which whatever, fair. Sometimes you get to do nothing in life, but not often. And I was feeling kind of guilty about it. But now I feel like I'm back a little bit more and I'm able to function and like be motivated and like think straight instead of just like want to stare at the wall, which maybe is hormonal too. So yeah, 9 weeks pregnant is like the baby's the size of like a grape tomato. I mean, this is like a baby. This is a baby you can see. And I've noticed this week, I'm starting to stick out a little bit. And Jason at first was like, no, I can't tell the difference. And a few days later, I showed him again. He was like, okay, I can tell the difference when I pointed it out. It's super slight, and only we would be able to tell. And only when you're naked, when you're wearing clothes, you can't tell, you know. But there's a difference in the way my natural stomach would stick out, and it's different. Like, it's lower, you know, and you can't suck it in. And it's cool. It's cool. It's just gonna get bigger. I have noticed sitting in cars and wearing my normal pants is less fun sitting down. So like I unbutton them, which isn't really abnormal for me. I would do that anyway if I ate a big meal, but it's like I ate a big meal all the time. It's different, but it's not because I'm bloated. I know I'm not bloated. And I'm also not constipated still. More than anything, I guess I'm pooping like normal, or I maybe have some diarrhea, but not like usually explosion, run to the bathroom. Just kind of like, oh, that was not constipated. So yeah, I feel like my energy's back, and my appetite for food is better. I feel like I'm, you know, able to eat more of the stuff that I would eat before that's like more nutrient dense stuff, like oysters and sardines and chicken soup and stuff. And I'm less grossed out when I'm cooking. Before I didn't want to cook anything. I don't want to eat any leftovers at all. Like, I just wanted someone else to cook for me, or I wanted to eat at a restaurant. And we like never eat at a restaurant, so it was really hard. But every restaurant we drive by, even though I didn't want to eat chicken in our house, and we raise like the best chicken ever, I'd be like, ooh, Popeye's chicken. I'm like, what? No, that chicken's crap. I don't want that chicken. But I still do, because I didn't cook it. I didn't see it cook, and I just want it finished product in my face and eat it, you know, which I can't really do that. It's not fair for me and my health and the baby and money and, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. So anyway, so that's been nice, being able to cook a little bit more, and I haven't still been able to eat like straight duck or chicken, but I've been able to eat chicken soup, and the broth has been tasting really good to me, and I've been able to cook chicken for Jason and then just like not watch him eat it, like be like, ooh, can you go to the next table over, you know, or whatever, go sit somewhere else. So this is one thing I've noticed this week, especially. I think I was noticing it before, but I didn't like compute it so much, is my hips are so sore. Oh my God. Like so sore. Like I feel like the way like my 6-year-old mom is like, oh, I'm stiff today. And I'm like, Yeah, I mean, you're 60, so you're allowed to be stiff. Like, but that's what I feel like. I'm like, what? I get out of bed to pee in the middle of the night, and I feel like I'm going to fall over. Like, my hips are so stiff. And I've had this issue before. I think this is where I hold the most stiffness in my muscles, is like in like the hip-leg connection, you know, so do like hip openers to loosen them up and all that. But I've had an issue before where that tight hip muscle kind of pinches the femoral nerve, which is like the sciatic nerve, but it's on the top of your leg. So it feels kind of like electric shooting bolts. But I've been able to get that to go away from eating less inflammatory foods in the past and then just doing better stretches. So it just goes away. So I know it's just like the muscle squeezing the nerve. But now that's kind of back, and my hips are so sore. Like when I'm walking, it's better. When I'm moving, it's better. But if I get up, like I've been really wanting to sit cross-legged, but it's not, my hips hurt, but I'm done. I think I'm extra flexible because some of the relaxin is starting to spread around in my body, I think, and I'm starting to get flexible already. But it is still making me sore. So it's like, oh, you can do it, but like your muscles are like, ah, like after I do it. And I spend a lot of my day like lifting a leg over an electric fence, like doing high kicks. So it's, you know, it's kind of a stretching scenario. I've noticed that I'm more flexible feeling, but so sore, which is a really weird feeling. So I need to look into, and I've been behind in this, and that's stupid of me, look into more specific, like, you know, prenatal yoga, like stretches and things like that. Because I already have some in my repertoire from trying to stretch my hips out in the past, but I need to add some to the mix and try to do some every day, and you know. So that's the hugest thing, and that's actually been happening for a little while, but especially this week, it's like, good Lord, like I am so sore. It's ridiculous. It's like I can't even move sometimes. I'm like, oh, I can't get up. So that's something that's been happening. Peeing has been different for me. I think just this week is when it realized like, oh, I have to pee a lot more often. But when I think I've been holding it too long, like in the night, you know, you're sleeping and you don't know you're holding it and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to explode. So it takes you a while to pee. I feel like I've been doing that too much. And so my bladder is like, ugh, like you're going to kill me. You're going to explode. So I need to get better at like trying to wake myself up and going to pee. Because the feeling is kind of like, ow, ow, oh, okay, finally I'm peeing because I've held it too long. So that's something that's been happening. Oh, the other day when I was washing dishes, I felt like a sort of a pain in like next to my belly button, but below. But it wasn't like a cramp. It was just like a stabbing little stretch. And I was like, huh. And then I felt it on the other side, like symmetrical later. And I thought, oh, maybe it's that ligament that holds up my uterus, like stretching out. I was like, I think that's what it is. And maybe it's not. But it's nice to chalk up the little aches and pains you're feeling to something that's positive, like stretching of the uterus or stretching of those ligaments. So that's kind of what I'm hoping that was. I think that's what it was. I also feel like, and not a lot of women out there probably want to talk about this, but my mustache is getting hairier. Like I have like a blonde mustache because I'm sort of blonde. I have like blonde chin hair. I mean, you know, like peach fuzz. But I feel like my mustache is getting like fuzzier. And I'm like, no, please. Because I don't do anything to it. And if I have a bit of mustache, I don't care. It's like very slight, whatever. It's mostly blonde. But I really think it's starting to get thicker. And I just really hope that doesn't keep happening. That would be not fun. Really not fun. But I've noticed that. Let's see. What else have I noticed? That might be the big thing. The big thing was that I'm starting to tell that my stomach is sticking out a little bit. I have more energy. Food is better. And the stiffness, the soreness, like, oh my God, I guess it's not stiffness, it's soreness. So that's probably the big update. But I've definitely too emotionally been feeling ever since I told you in the other video that I got to hold my client's baby who was really little, and, you know, and I mean, I've held babies before, but when you hold a baby and you're actually pregnant, you're like, oh, this is interesting. This is a different feeling. I feel very different and very like excited. Like I love this kid, even though this is my kid. So that's something that I still feel. I'm really starting to feel more bonded, with this baby. I've been kind of calling it like a little booger when I write it in things, because we won't be finding out the sex of the baby until the birth. So I mentioned that we're not going to do an ultrasound, but you can also tell the sex of the baby by doing a blood test because the sex would be in the genes floating around in your blood. But we're not going to find out. We're going to keep it a surprise. So we'll know like just a day before everybody else knows when we announced that the baby was born. So I'm really excited about that, and we're getting excited about having some more time, even more free time like this in the dead of winter when there's not much going on, to kind of reorganize the house and try to spend the time when we're not busy, which is the dead of winter, and when I'm not as big pregnant, to like reorganize the rooms the way we want and kind of start to brainstorm about how the baby's room is going to be. And we're not going to paint it yet when I'm still early pregnant. I think we'll paint when I'm later pregnant, when there's not really as much of a risk of inhaling fumes, even though if we do it in the spring or summer when the baby's due in July, late July, we can, open up the windows and get some airflow, and so that would be good. But it gives us time to think about the design of everything and all that. And we're gonna, pretty soon we're gonna be telling people. And that's fun too. We're thinking around New Year's kind of, cause I'll be closer to, 12 weeks then. And I think we're just going to go for it and tell people. So anyway, so that's what's happening now. You can maybe even tell that I have more energy, and I really hope that you've been enjoying listening. I love doing this. It's fun. Thanks a lot. And, if you have any questions or any, solidarity comments to say, oh, me too, my mustache maybe got thicker or whatever, you can leave a comment below, or you can check out my Facebook page, which is Our Birthway Doula Services, and like the page and comment on that, because I'll be posting these videos there too, not just on YouTube. So yeah, I'll see you around, and thanks a lot.